Welcome into today's broadcast right here at Cog Hill Farm. Now, Peaches wouldn't let Nugget into the house for this episode, so here's Jason, Brooke, and our chicken master, MaryCarl.
What is up, guys? This is Jason, Brooke, and MaryCarl over here at Cog Hill Farm. This is another episode of the Cogcast podcast. This is episode number 4. 4 with the whole new podcast. And this is probably 74. Going back to when I originally started the podcast, but this is number 4 this time, and it has been a lot of fun so far. A lot of fun.
It has. I've been looking forward to this week, and hopefully we will have something entertaining to say, and y'all can learn a little bit more about the Cog Squad.
That's right. Get my glasses on here. I couldn't see what was going on. All right. Well, we do have another co-host. Nugget is here.
I think she thought her daddy had kind of lost it there for a minute.
Well, no, we do have MaryCarl, the poultry expert of Cog Hill. She is here to enlighten us on anything and all things poultry. Like this week, you got some new duck eggs.
Yes.
And they are East Indies ducks. And they are bantams, right? Mm-hmm. And are they rare?
Yes.
They are rare.
I'm pretty sure they are. I mean, it's not the most common duck you'll see.
I've never heard of it.
Me neither.
Did you just say that there was something that you haven't heard of?
Well, I was looking at a little poultry book I had, and I saw them, and I thought that they were pretty cool looking.
They look a lot like a cayuga.
Yes, a miniature version of a cayuga.
They are miniature, and that's what bantam means. Bantam is just the if you say a bantam chicken or bantam duck, that's the miniature word that's used in poultry to say something is miniature or mini or small is bantam. Because you can have, if I'm wrong, let me know, but you can have a
bantam turkey.
Or you can have a bantam turkey.
Yeah, it's called a midget white.
A midget white. See, I didn't know that.
Oh, she's wanting some of those, so I do know that.
You know about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking like, what is Starlight? A Brahma?
Yes.
But you can have a bantam Brahma.
Yes, I used to have one. She was buff.
But you can have like bantam Brahmas and bantam Dominickers and bantam Americanas. You can just breed them down, right?
I think pretty much every breed has a bantam
You
version.
do? That's what I'm thinking.
Do you like bantam breeds better than the full size?
I think I do.
You do?
Yes.
Is it because they're just more cute and cuddly, you reckon?
I think so.
That's what I'm thinking. What is your favorite breed? Right now, if you had to pick one breed.
Chicken breed? Or
chicken breed. If you had to pick one chicken breed, what chicken breed would you get?
I don't know, but
You don't know?
out of my chickens I have now, it's Sally, which is a modern game.
That's your favorite right now?
Yes.
That's the modern game, which has got super long legs. Like, extremely long legs.
Yeah, like if the bird was the size of, like this tall, without the legs on it, the legs would be about this long.
They are that long. They are really, every time I see them, I think of ZZ Top's song, She's Got Legs. Because that's what it reminds me of. It is, they're one of the strangest looking chickens I've ever seen.
And guess what?
What?
They make a full size.
They do make a full size, and I heard that someone was wanting a full size version of one of these.
We've been looking for some hatching eggs, and
you haven't found any yet?
We hadn't been able to find any, but
they may be kind of hard to find. I don't know.
Well, it may be that we wait until some of these hatcheries start hatching out for the season.
They will,
and we can order chicks.
And speaking of that, this is something I've said it, and some of you guys have probably heard me say it here recently a lot in our videos, and I want to say it again because I'm still getting this question: why is my chicken not laying eggs? They've stopped laying eggs now.
Yes, I get messages constantly,
and it's perfectly normal. This is normal for chickens to stop laying or slow down laying when it comes fall and winter time, and it's just their cycle. chickens need, what's it like, 12 or 14 hours of sunlight? Yeah. So when the days get shorter, they don't have near the sunlight. So when they don't have near the sunlight, they're not going to lay as many eggs. Now, come spring, like what was yesterday, or day before yesterday was the winter solstice.
Yes.
So that was these short. Yeah. They're going to start getting longer, and once they start getting longer, your egg production is going to come back. And I see people say, well, you can feed them this, you can do. Feed has nothing to do with it right now.
No, I don't feel like there's anything special. I mean, some people say you can add light to their coop.
That's the other one. Yeah,
we like to do things naturally, so we don't do that.
I'm still thinking though, even if you added a light, it's still not the sun. You know what I mean? I'm thinking there's something
right
that the sun rays put off that the chickens need, and that fluorescent bulb or whatever is not going to have it. That's just my opinion. Some of y'all may have had luck with leaving lights on and them laying eggs, but I got a feeling it's still not like it is come spring and early summer when they're at their peak production.
And I've seen here lately somebody will say, oh, I swapped to such and such brand of feed and my chicken started laying. Guess what? That's probably just a coincidence.
It probably is. There's
no magic.
Yeah, not right now. They're molting. For a lot of them are molting, and that's going to cause them to stop laying. And the shorter days are going to cause them to start laying.
Speaking of molting, yes. My most beautiful pick for a chicken, Cleo, is looking quite, well, not so beautiful right now.
What kind of chicken is Cleo?
She is a partridge Cochin.
A partridge Cochin. Now, this is something that I had to learn that MaryCarl taught me. You know, you hear the word partridge, and I was thinking at one time that was the breed. What's another one you hear a lot?
Color.
That's the color. There's another one, duckwing, silver duckwing.
Yes.
I always thought that was a breed. That's not a breed. That's the color.
I thought it was a breed for a long time. But actually, cloverleaf is a silver duckwing. It's kind of like, there's a gold duckwing too, which is kind of like, the rooster looks just like cloverleaf, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But the hen is kind of a gold colored.
Yeah, but that's the color. Like barred is the color. What's another color?
Blue.
Blue. What about Colombian?
Yes, Colombian. A lot of people think that a Colombian Wyandotte is a specific breed.
But it's not. It's just the color.
Yeah, like there's a few different colors of Wyandottes.
Yes.
Like there's a blue-laced red Wyandotte. There's
which we have right now. Yes. And that blue-laced is she's not full grown. How old is she?
Probably not 6 months yet.
She is getting more beautiful by the day. That's one of the prettiest chickens I think we got.
Yeah, she's pretty.
She is beautiful. Beautiful.
I remember going to our very first poultry show and walking in there, and on the cage they would have the breed, and it would be a description that I didn't recognize.
Yes.
And it might be like a old English game silver duckwing bantam.
Right.
And I just thought to myself, oh, there's no way I can remember all that. But when you break it down and you realize that silver duckwing is
the color.
Is the color. And old English game is the breed.
And then bantam is the size, or it could say standard. Yeah. So
yeah, like there's Cochins are considered giant.
Right, they're big. Regular Cochin is, and they look bigger than probably what they are too, because they have like this just.
Well, does Cochin not mean feather-footed?
I'm not sure what Cochin means, but
a Cochin is the breed.
I always thought that anything that said Cochin had feathered feet.
No, it's the breed.
But also, Cochins, I think a long time ago, they were called Pekin Bantams.
Do you?
Yes, the original Cochin was a bantam.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've ever heard of I'm sure most people have heard of a Peking duck.
Right.
But it's the white duck.
Right.
It's normally raised for meat or eggs. They are, I don't know why, but they're called Peking ducks. And then there's a Peking bantam too.
Okay. Well, I've never heard of the Peking bantam.
That's
my first. So I'm getting schooled today as well.
She just does this research on her own. And I mean, when it's what you love and what your passion is, then that's what you're going to learn about. And that just happens to be her thing. It's not Barbie dolls. Not
Barbie dolls. And, you know, it used to be horses.
Yeah. She could tell you just about anything about horses as far as color and breed.
And this was like 2 years, 3 years old.
She wasn't old enough to be knowing her colors, much less knowing horse breeds.
That's right, because we used to have horses. We got our first horse which was Tucker.
Yeah, and MaryCarl was 2 years old, and that's all we heard about was pony.
Tucker.
So all we knew to do was to get the child a horse, and
that's right.
It fulfilled that need.
We did get the horse, and I forgot how we found it on Facebook, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. It was not too far from here, and
when we snuck, MaryCarl was here.
Yeah,
remember?
Yeah,
borrowed my granddaddy's trailer.
She went with us.
I thought MaryCarl was
No,
here.
she went with us. And
where do we go?
To I can't remember what it was called.
Sweetwater.
Yeah, Sweetwater, Alabama.
I do remember the name Sweetwater.
But
Sweetwater,
he was
Alabama.
A babysitter. He was such a wonderful
he was
first
a great
horse.
Yeah, he was great. He was probably 3 foot tall.
He was just perfect.
He was, and so well mannered, and yeah, Tucker was awesome.
He was, and then she became interested in chicks at the same time that she was interested in horses.
I remember the day she really saw her first horse. We had went to the Marion Rodeo. And we were outside the Marion Rodeo, and they were, the rodeo people there, and it may have been a barrel racer. I don't know if it was a barrel racer, but it was a girl and a horse, or a lady and a horse. And we walked up to it, and we asked, could she pet the horse? And of course, she said yes. And then MaryCarl just gently took and just stroked the horse's chin and looked into that horse's soul. And I remember that woman.
It sounds crazy, but it's
true. It does
true.
sound crazy, but this is the truth. When that visit was over, that woman, and she was a woman. This wasn't a kid.
Yeah, and she wasn't just saying this for.
She said that she had never in her life
seen a connection
seen anything like that before, never, and that we needed to get MaryCarl a horse. And so we were. I've been around horses a lot. My granddaddy was a big horse person, and I knew how to ride horses.
I've never been around horses, so.
And so, I kind of knew anything about horses, but, I wasn't a horse expert by
Well, that's kind of like chickens. I mean, until it's hands-on, you don't really know.
That's right. And I remember I had a buddy of mine who is a horse guru and does jumping horses, and is a doctor in Birmingham. And I remember when we got Tucker, and he saw it was posted on Facebook, and he sent me a message. And it took me a little while to realize what he said was true. But he said buying the horse is the cheapest part of having horses. And that is the honest to God truth. Horses are expensive. They're expensive.
But it was worth it. Because this little girl's face lit up every time she saw that horse.
Yeah, we rode Tucker every single day.
She asked every day to ride. Daddy, can I ride the horse? And Jackson would have been at work all day and tired and have to put a saddle on a horse, and she might not ride for 3 or 4 minutes, but it was meaningful to her. It
was meaningful to her, and we did that. We had horses. We got Tucker, and then I ended up getting me a horse, or I got several. I had to go through 2 or 3 before I found one that I really liked, and ended up with a Tennessee walking horse. And we rode a lot, or at least I rode a lot, but it was expensive. It was an expensive hobby. It kind of reminds me of golf. Golf is expensive. It is really, really. I mean, I know there's people who say, "Well, it's expensive." I mean,
unless
when you talk about
a member of a club, that you're consistent.
But horses, you're talking about shots all the time. Their feet getting to be, a fair here every 4 to 6 weeks, it seemed like.
Well,
and
you working a full-time job, and then me having to load the horse to take it to go. Are you having to get off to go take the horse to get shots? Because this was before we knew how to give shots ourselves.
That's right.
Now we'd be doing it
ourselves. Plus, too, we didn't have any pasture, so we were buying big round bales of hay.
Yeah, plus feed.
Plus, we were buying high-end, high-quality feed, which was really expensive. Gosh, it was just expensive. I remember doing the math, and I remember that something came up, and it was like 3 months that I rode one time. And I was like, this is like a car payment for us to keep these horses, and I've ridden one time. And so we ended up getting out, and then MaryCarl got where she really didn't care about horses anymore.
Yeah, she had a couple of incidents where she had seen, some people have some spook accidents, and I think that was kind of fresh on her mind, even though she didn't say it. I think that's part of it. We were riding one time, and somebody went over a yellow jacket nest, and
that's right.
The guy jumped off the horse, and the horse went into traffic. It was crazy.
It was pretty scary. It kind of scared me too, and like I said, I've been riding horses forever. But it was scary because you're talking about a 1,200-pound animal that you think
you're in control.
Yeah.
And you're not in control.
Just at the whim. And I've seen it happen a lot. I saw a flock of turkeys run out in front of us one time on a trail ride, and somebody's horse, went nuts. So, I mean, it can happen. It can really, really happen. But, I still love horses. I really do.
Well, it wasn't that we in any way steered her against horses, but she just literally lost interest.
She did. She literally lost interest in horses. And, we say that she's a bird expert now, but she's always, before horses, loved birds.
I can remember her being in a little princess dress when she was not even hardly big enough to walk and holding a little chick like this, like it was her little,
Always. And we've always had chickens, too.
I think that I got into chickens one time. We went to the fair, and there was a little, it's like a little pen of chicks, and I got in there with them, and I was holding them, and they're just like me.
That's right. They did like you. So, I mean, ever since then, it's been on like Donkey Kong with chickens.
Yeah.
I mean, great ducks, geese, everything. It has been crazy. Speaking of ducks, we talked about how there was a super rare breed that you wanted called a
Dutch hookbill.
Dutch hookbill that was almost extinct at one time.
Yes, they were once a very popular laying duck and were like raised in fields for eggs.
Isn't that crazy how they just poof?
And now
I think of the guinea hog. I mean, the American guinea hog was the most popular pig on a homestead back in the 1800s, early 1900s. Everybody owned guinea hogs.
That's exactly what Dutch hookbills were like, I'm pretty sure.
I'm thinking so, too.
They had, everybody had one. If they had eggs, they had duck eggs.
That is just crazy how that just happens. But we had somebody reach out to us today. Matter of fact, it was late this evening that I got the email. Somebody has Dutch hookbills, and so come spring,
they're willing to share with us.
They're willing to share with us, and come spring, it looks like we may have Dutch hookbill ducks on the farm, and they are some cool looking ducks. I mean, the Indian Runner is probably one of the coolest looking ducks.
Yeah. By the way, we ordered a few of those too.
Yeah, I heard. So these Dutch hookbills are just strange. Their head is just weird. It's really, really. I guess that's why they call it hookbill, because it's shaped like a hook.
But the babies look normal.
The babies look just like a normal little.
That's crazy.
And as they progress week after week, you can start to see that hookbill forming. MaryCarl and I looked at some pictures of some images of week 1, week 2, week 3, and you could start to see that bill to form. It was just unreal.
I don't understand how it curves. It goes.
They're really, really strange. If you've never seen one, go Google it, and that is a strange looking duck.
And we had a friend of ours sent us a message today, and he asked me, he said, "Where did you find Dutch hookbills?" Because we said in the last video that I'm on a waiting list for some eggs. Well, that doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to get them. That means that if they're available, they'll message me.
But that was prior to this.
That was prior to this.
Yes, so we're super happy about this.
Because that means no waiting list. That means it's going to happen.
That's right. And I had no idea that we were going to get somebody to send us an email saying they had Dutch hookbills. It was just crazy. I just knew she wanted them, and we spoke about it in the video. That's just crazy, and we're so grateful for you guys, big time.
Yeah.
So, how much longer we got on the West? I want to call them West Indies. I have no idea why.
Well, we can create a West Indies.
Maybe so.
But these are called East Indies.
Maybe a white one.
Yeah.
We don't have much longer on these, right?
I don't know when we put them in, but
I saw it marked on the calendar.
Did you see it marked on the calendar? Yeah. I'm thinking about another week in there.
Yeah, a week or two.
They should be hatching along, we hope.
Earlier today, my mama was talking about how our cayuga, he was swimming in the creek, and we could see him from the bank, and he was in the sunshine, and you could see how green and shiny his feathers were.
I mean, it's like emerald green.
Yeah.
A cayuga is a solid black duck, and so are these Indies.
East Indies.
They look very identical, but they're solid black. And what makes them cool is they look solid black, but when the sun hits them, they turn green.
Like a cayuga.
And purple.
And purple. It is really, really weird looking. If you saw our video that came out yesterday, you saw that, and in the picture, because I put a picture of the East Indies duck in the picture. I mean, a picture of it in the video, and it reminds me of one of those cars.
A flip-flop.
The flip-flop paint job, where you look at it one way and it's red, and if you turn this way, it turns green. That's what they remind me of, because they're just really, really, really cool looking ducks.
The East Indies they say are a lot more green, shiny look to them.
I'm curious to see if that holds true. Now, these ducks are bantam ducks, and we do have some bantam ducks here on the farm, and they're called call ducks.
Yes, and the males, they go whack, 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 whack,
but not the females.
All the time, and the females just go whack, 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 whack.
They're very loud.
Like they're the loudest duck on this farm.
And I think they're also the loudest duck breed, period.
Well, they are.
They are the smallest domesticated duck, too.
Oh, are they?
So when MaryCarl was looking at this breed, the East Indies duck, I started reading about it and comparing the two. And it says that they are the size of a call duck. However, they don't have the noise of a call duck.
A quiet disposition.
So I was eager to get that relayed over to Jason so he wouldn't.
See, that's the thing is I'm not a fan. I mean, I take that. I mean, I don't dislike ducks. I just know how they are. I just know that ducks are messy. They're and especially when they're babies and you're trying to raise them.
And they're in your child's bedroom.
They're in the bedroom or wherever. They mix their food and water together.
I don't particularly like ducks during that time either.
and
not?
And typically, I think when people get around a chicken coop that smells or whatever, I don't think it's poop that you're smelling.
It's wet feed.
It's wet feed. When poultry feed or chicken feed gets wet, it sours fast.
It stinks.
And it stinks. And ducks have to mix their food and water together to eat.
I don't know why, but
they
love it.
And it's because they take it a mouthful and drop it in the water and then do their thing in the water. That's how they eat. I mean, it's just all there is to it. That's how ducks eat.
That's right.
And it stinks. And you have to clean those waterers out 2 or 3 times a day.
Oh, yeah. That's not enough.
More.
Yeah, that's not enough, even when you do it that many times.
And it still stinks when you do it that many times.
One of my ducks, his name is Ollie. He lived in the house for probably 3 weeks. But only because he was clean.
Ollie was fairly clean. He's probably one of the cleanest ones we've had in a while.
When he got about 2 weeks, he started to mix his food and water. And then it got to where it would come out. Mm-hmm. And we use a milk jug. We use like a gallon jug, no matter if it's a distilled water jug or a milk jug or orange juice, whatever you have. Mm-hmm. But you cut a hole in it, and then they get in it. Well, they try to get in it.
They try to get in it.
You have to get a hole about that big just to where they can get their head in it. And one time we had some larger ducks mixed with some mallards, and they were babies, and they were in a little tote. And the mallards would get in the jug, and they would splash around. And
they would get in there and swim around because the hole was the size where they could all drink out of it. And MaryCarl got so tickled, she came and she said, "Mama, they're swimming in the jug." And that's happened more than once.
That's happened a lot. Well, the thing about the milk jug is that it does kind of help with them.
It does. It does kind of help. You just put that hole up a little bit further than halfway and just make it just so their head can get in there, not their whole body.
When you put it a little too big and a little too high, they'll
get in there.
They'll be like, and they'll put their foot on it, then they'll slide down a little bit.
And then you see ducks swimming inside the jug.
Then they got that's a little pond in the milk jug in the house. Now, you said we got some blue India runners. That's what you were talking about a minute ago. You got some new ducks coming. Got some blue India runners coming. But why did we get the Indian runners?
We ordered,
something you've been wanting for a long time.
Some geese.
Some geese.
Some alarm systems.
Part of the new Cog Hill alarm system.
But these geese, one of them is a large dewlap Toulouse.
Which is rare.
Yes. One is a tufted Toulouse, and one is a French Toulouse.
So we got some Toulouses coming.
Yes.
Do you know what I think of when I think of the Toulouse? Do you remember that cartoon, The Aristocrats?
Oh, yes. I think of it too. I do.
Those were Toulouse geese in there, and they must say it. I don't know why I know that, but those were, and that's what I think of every time I think of a Toulouse goose.
Some little girl watched that quite a few times.
Oh gosh, how many times we watched that cartoon?
And probably was because there were geese on there.
Oh man, we watched that cartoon. I know that movie a million times.
Aristocats.
But
so we ordered the 3 goslings, and it came up. It said if you would order 6 geese.
4. No, it said if you ordered geese, you could add.
You had to have at least 4 more
items,
ducks or geese for the order to go through.
Yeah.
And then it said that you had to order 10 ducks.
Total.
So we added 4 blue runners.
But that got you
to
free
it.
shipping.
Yes, but then we added 10 runners to it. It was like 4 blue runners. Like 2 brown ones. It's like a little bit of every color.
And you've pretty much taught me into turning the runners loose in the garden.
Yes.
Come summertime, because you telling me that they're great pest
Snail
control.
eaters.
But the thing is they won't be here until April, so this will be perfect timing.
This will be perfect timing. This will be perfect.
Yeah.
And it's supposed we won't eat my tomatoes and none of that.
So it'll be interesting to
They're
see if we can turn them loose in there.
Maybe like when they're
We
just
can get them
old
used to
enough
the area.
We
You
can
know,
get them used to the
outside.
area. We can do that.
Put
We
them
can
a
get
little
used to-
shelter in there, and
We got the greenhouse.
oh yeah, that's true. They could go up in there at night.
That's right.
Wow,
What do
we
you
got
think?
it. Hey, I'm thinking 10 more. What do you think?
20 runners.
It's 2 against 1.
Yeah, I know it.
And-
It is 2 against 1.
We got 1 blue male, and the rest of them were females.
Okay.
And because
Did you discuss this with Bill? No.
Well, I do have 3 male runners. Bill.
2
and
black
then
ones.
2 chocolate or black ones. I can't tell the difference. They're.
How old is Bill? He's one of the
I
oldest ducks here,
I
isn't
saw
he?
a picture of him the other day, and
He's got to be
I was
7 or
like
8.
3.
He's one of the oldest ducks here by far.
Yes, I think he is the oldest duck.
That's what I'm thinking.
Speaking of that, somebody has a birthday coming up this Monday,
Oh.
December the 28th, and she will be 11 years old.
That's right.
And this will be the last podcast before birthday, so I figured I'd throw that out there.
That is. And we're recording this on Christmas Eve, so it'll come out tomorrow on Christmas Eve. So we really would like to wish all you guys an awesome Merry Christmas, because I know it's coming up. And there's one other thing that I would like to mention too, is we had a video come out today about the duck eggs, and Spencer was not in the video. The cat.
Spencer, okay.
And it wasn't by design. It's just the way the videos kind of fall. You know, we record our videos on the weekend, and that's Saturday and Sunday. And I think we had started on the duck egg video, and then Spencer, we got the call about Spencer. And so anyways, long story short, Spencer is still here, but Spencer has a new home here on the farm. Hang on. Always got to reset my camera. So Spencer came the next day. You showed Spencer to your mom.
Well, that evening, my mom's usually like, oh, another animal. So we were hesitant especially about telling her about a cat, because she's a cat fanatic. But that evening, that same day that we got Spencer, MaryCarl and I said, Nana, we would like for you to come down to the barn. We've got something to show you. And so she went down there with us and immediately just fell in love. And I wasn't expecting that to go that way.
I wasn't expecting that either at all.
Not that she wouldn't love the kitten, but I was expecting it another cat.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that way at all. It was like, oh, I love it. It can't stay here. It can't stay here. Can I take it home with me? Not can I take it home with me? I'm taking it home with me.
That's right.
And so she took it upon herself, with our permission, to load up all Spencer's things. We drove the truck. I think it was raining. And MaryCarl and I helped her get his things to the house.
That's
and
right.
Spencer is now named Sassy Man.
Sassy Man, because it is a male. You took him to the vet and got all his shots and his checkups and all that goody stuff. And so he did say Spencer was like, so we were right.
Yeah, we were right. It's a male cat.
It is a boy.
And he is well loved. Not that he wouldn't have been well loved at the barn.
He will be beyond spoiled. I can't tell you how spoiled he will be. I'm talking about like fine china with the best filet mignon. I'm talking this cat is going to be spoiled rotten with capital letters.
Well,
spoiled.
My mom had a cat that she had for about 15 years, and it passed away within this past year. And she did make a point that I don't want another cat. I just can't, get attached to something like that. It just killed me when Jezebel passed away. And so she had told us numerous times, no more cats, no more cats. And we didn't ask her if she wanted the cat. No. I think she
it was just like, I want it.
Is that what it was like, wasn't it?
And so how could we not offer the cat a inside house?
That's right.
And so...
And I'm guessing our pretty much 3 barn cats, Tucker, Pink, and Mort, are probably happy.
Mort's a semi-barn cat.
Well, Tucker is a semi-barn cat too, but they are still barn cats.
But Pink told me she was very happy. She said she likes to be the number one.
Kittings.
She likes to be number one. And
Pink is the number 1 barn cat.
She is. And so Sassy Man has a wonderful home. He actually gets to sleep in a bed at night. And
a real bed.
A real bed.
Like a king-size bed.
Like the bed we bought for him is still at the barn because it's not suitable.
I had to take it back. First, they got the tags on it.
It probably does. But he
because was it that day or was it the next day?
No, it was that day.
It was that day.
That day. He never spent the night at the barn.
That's what I thought. He never spent the night at the barn.
He never spent the night at the barn. So barn cat,
my gracious.
No.
That is so funny.
And it worked out. We intended on him being a barn cat, but I mean, how could you just not offer something?
That's right.
The life of luxury.
That's right. Yeah, he is.
He's living it up.
He's living it up. He's gonna be more spoiled than Peaches.
Yes. He's happy, no doubt.
Peaches is not gonna like that.
And that makes me happy that he has, a good home. And
it does.
Not that the barn wouldn't have been a good home. I don't mean that. But
right.
This will offer him a better life than what he would have had being a mouser.
Yeah, he will not be a mouser. He will be.
We have lots of dogs. Mom doesn't have dogs, so
that's right.
It worked out.
It worked out. Yep.
Plus, I'm allergic to cats, so no cats in the house.
No cats in the house.
Gidget would think that cat was the bomb.
Yeah, she would.
I reckon what Gidget would do with a cat.
I don't know.
I don't know either. It'd be Deeks. It'd be I don't know. Arlo probably. I don't know. I think they'd all get along.
They probably would.
Gidget would probably bark at it the first few days.
Do you think so?
Yes. All the time it'd be like.
Gidget is a barker.
Gidget. Oh gosh, a Pomeranian is. That's the loudest, most barkative dog I've ever seen in my life. It's just not even close.
And it just so happens to be my dog.
Your
dog. That doesn't go over very well.
It's not even close. Well, what else? Is that it? Y'all think of anything else?
You were talking about the chickens laying.
Yeah.
They weren't laying this time of the year. If you got chicks in late this year, they will be laying at this time.
Right.
They'll just now start to lay.
Start laying.
That's why we have a lot of eggs.
Well, plus too, I think people see us gather eggs and they see us gather those 2 dozen in that basket, and it's a lot of eggs. That's about what it holds, 2 or 3 dozen. But we've got 60 chickens.
No, actually we don't. We have
we got a lot of chickens. We got more chickens than what you think, I'm telling you.
But
so we're getting half. We're getting half. We're getting...
A lot of them are new layers, and they're young, and therefore, when they're just starting out, they're going to lay when they get
they'll lay. Yeah, they'll start lay. But it's still nothing like they would be if they were spring chickens.
I mean, you're going to get an egg a day in the spring.
That's right. Yeah, you're going... It's But I do think people get the concept that we're gathering... 80 eggs a day. Right. That's kind of what it looks like in that basket.
It looks like it, but it might be because the basket is.
Well, it's just we're getting roughly 20 to 24 eggs, and that's basically what that basket holds. And it looks like a bunch, and it is a lot. That's a lot of eggs.
Yeah, it is.
But we have a lot of chickens too.
Some people have asked here recently. This may sound crazy, but do you have to have a rooster to have eggs? Absolutely not.
Mm-mm.
And
you don't have to have a rooster.
Tell them why, MaryCarl.
Because a rooster, you have to have babies to have a rooster.
Right.
If you want to have baby chicks, you got to get a rooster.
Got to have a rooster.
But you can't have babies with just 2 roosters or 2 hens. You have to have a rooster and a hen. At least probably. If you had maybe 3 roosters, I would have probably 5 hens per rooster.
Yeah, probably. You could do 5 to 10. I mean, that's one reason why our roosters don't, we get asked a lot about roosters and how come they don't fight and that kind of thing. And it's because we have a great ratio between roosters and hens.
If you don't have enough hens for roosters, then yes, they're going to fight.
You're going to have a problem.
And we still, every now and then, have that one that comes along that just wants to be a bully.
Yeah.
And he has to go to a new home. But, I mean, that's just going to happen. You just have, sometimes you have those that have that rooster attitude.
We don't keep mean animals here.
No, we don't. But, and one other thing is, can a chicken lay more than one egg a day?
No, but sometimes a soft shell means they will lay 2 eggs in a day.
If they get a soft shell. Well, tell them a chicken's born.
A chicken is born with about...
The eggs are already in her.
Yes, the eggs are already in her.
They're just not formed.
Yeah,
She's just got like a little... It's hard to explain.
When we
like
used to process quail,
you
could see the little eggs inside of them.
That was a pretty neat thing to see.
So, but their eggs are already there, and so
they're born with the number of eggs they're going to lay in their lives.
Right.
Inside of them.
That's right.
They probably lay maximum of about 3 years worth of eggs.
Especially your hybrids.
Right.
Yes,
More your heritage breeds would go longer than that, but your hybrids are going to start slowing
drop
down.
off. Yeah, they're going to start.
They're all going to start dropping off because they only have a certain amount of eggs in them, and that's it.
That's right.
But every now and then you get that strange chicken that'll be like 8 years old.
Still
it'll
laying.
Lay eggs every day.
And typically that's a heritage breed for the most part.
Yes.
They'll usually lay longer than
I have a sizzle hen.
She's 8.
Yes, she's about 8 years old.
Chocolate?
Mm-hmm. And one time, I don't know what happened to her, but she had no feathers whatsoever. No feathers.
She was looking rough.
She was looking rough. I think she was molting.
I don't know, but it lasted forever.
I mean, she was like a naked chicken.
Yeah, it was rough looking.
And now she looks like show quality.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
As a matter of fact, I asked you today, I said, does Chocolate ever lay? And you said, yes, every day.
Probably every other day or every 3 days at least.
But still, she's pretty active with her egg laying at her ripe old age.
But Sally, she's probably only 2, 1.
And she doesn't hardly ever lay.
She doesn't lay any eggs.
But that's just the breed, though.
She laid 1 egg, but it says that they lay excessive eggs a whole lot.
Well, maybe it's just Sally then.
But it also says they're very vocal.
Sally can be vocal.
She can. She's not that vocal, though.
No.
Not in there with Astrid.
We were cleaning out her little Sally's areas of the inside coop and Q-tip.
Uh-huh. Who's a Polish?
Yes, she's a white Polish. She was going...
Oh, she's just chatty.
Yeah.
She talks
I
all the
tell her
time.
to put a Q-tip in it.
Tell her to put a Q-tip in it.
Oh, there's a big Q-tip.
One other thing I wanted to say was, can a hen crow?
We did have one that had this happen.
Yep.
We had
Louise.
a Americana hen once, and we weren't experienced chicken owners at this time, and we had horses. We had a fence all the way around the horses, and I can remember Louise getting up on that fence.
No, Louise was prior to horses. The video I got her, she's in the goat pen.
Yeah, I'm just saying I can remember her crowing on the horse fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would get on the fence, and she would look like a rooster.
She would let it rip. I mean,
it was weird.
If I can find that video, I will try to put it in this podcast. But I have a video somewhere of Louise on a wire spool in the goat pen.
Crowing.
This was way before our goats. Now this was our original goats with Earl crowing.
Yep. Is that not crazy?
And people thought I was crazy. There was a hatchery, a guy that was a hatchery that was a big chicken person, and he didn't believe me. He thought I was crazy, and I showed him the video, and you can't really tell Louise is a hen, really. You just have to take our word for it.
Popcorn's her baby.
But that's right.
Popcorn's actually her great-great-granddaughter.
Really?
Louise was a full-blooded Americana.
Yes. Yeah. I do believe Louise bred with another full-blooded Americana rooster. Then they got another full-blooded Americana. She was brown. I remember this chicken really well. She looked just like Popcorn.
How do you remember that?
I don't know, but she was a very vocal chicken.
And Popcorn lays green eggs, too.
She lays light blue eggs, baby blue eggs. And her mama laid dark blue eggs. And
so I stand to be corrected.
You have to watch yourself.
Well, we'll have to find that video.
I will try to find that video.
We thought Belle... Bell, little
Belle.
Yeah.
We thought that it was a he for the longest time because MaryCarl thought she heard him crowing.
I've heard it crow. It goes.
Yeah.
And since then we haven't heard it, but that made me think of it when we were talking about
Louise.
But then I started finding these little eggs about this big in Belle's area under the nesting box in a little hole Belle's size, like a little nest about that big that Belle could get its body down in. And the egg, I thought it was a fairy egg the first time I got it, which a fairy egg is a very small egg.
Which typically is like a chicken's first egg. They'll lay, or the first egg of the season sometimes, or the end of their cycle. So you'll get fairy eggs.
I couldn't figure it out because I got like 8 in a row, and I hadn't gotten one since.
So
and you were convinced Belle was a man at that time.
I don't know. I don't know if it's Belle or not.
I've had a lot of people ask me, because Belle is probably the friendliest chicken on the farm. Yes. That hops up on you like a little parrot. What kind of chicken is Belle?
Belle's half brother is Cloverleaf,
which is the silver duckwing Old English bantam.
And Tony is Belle's daddy, and the mother of Belle is Duchess, which is Cloverleaf's mama too.
What kind of chicken is Duchess?
She is a full-blooded silver duckwing.
And then Tony is
Sarama,
which is the world's smallest chicken breed.
And actually, Belle is smaller.
Belle is smaller than Tony.
And
Tony's small.
That's a small chicken.
That is small. And Cloverleaf is smaller than Tony.
Yeah.
Yes, but Cloverleaf's daddy was a full-blooded Old English game, same color as him. And he got mean.
He got mean. That's right.
His great-granddaddy. We had Cloverleaf's great-granddaddy. I remember him, and he was mean.
But Cloverleaf is super sweet.
Yes. We had to catch him today, and he about had a heart
attack.
Yeah. It was funny. It was like...
Well, I guess we'll wrap this podcast up. I'm sure everybody has been enlightened and knows way more about chickens than they did prior to listening or watching this podcast.
Even I do, as far as this great-granddaddy stuff. And
hey, I do want to tell you, if you do want to listen to the podcast, there is an Audible version on all the podcast apps now. All of them, including Pandora. You can even tell Alexa to play us. We're on Apple's. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're on everywhere. Spotify. So if you want to listen to it, you can do that, or you can continue to watch it here on the new podcast channel. And I guess we'll sign off with that. Hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. We'll catch you on the next one. Y'all be good.